Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today will be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's off of I-75 in Plano, Texas. It is a beautiful afternoon, and you already know that I love to go big box store plant shopping to show you what plants we are seeing at these big box stores for outdoor gardening, as well as the prime event, which is indoor tropical plants. As always, please make sure you're pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. If you can, that would be amazing. So we'll see what plants we have installed today for this beautiful shopping adventure. I can already see that there is a lot of outdoor gardening plants, but today I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the outdoor section. I'm going to go straight to the indoor tropical plants because I know that that is what a lot of people want to see. If you also get a chance, please make sure you are following my Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. Would really appreciate that engagement. And you already know, for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. My name is Richie, and I love to interact with y'all.
Hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Love Plants.
And I am Richie from Grow Folds, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you going to do? You're going to share the video.
You
That's
have
what
to.
you're gonna
You
do.
have to. Today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one.
All right.
And you already know I had to put a keyword, yes, commercial, for Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. I love being part of the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. And for those that have been following me, you already know that I love to go ahead and put those plugs in for some of my side project, whether it's Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast, or if you are interested in the Classy Rabbit soil. I just recently read a comment about how I was very commercial. And yes, I am very commercial. I love to promote things that are very important to me. It is somebody's choice whether they want to engage in that content. Again, I'm just going to open that dialogue for just a second, and just know that every comment I do read, and in every comment, I always really assess what somebody's intent is. All I know is if it is one of those negative comments, you will be called out for it, because at the end of the day, I always say, please make sure you exercise kindness. There is always a way to give constructive critiques or feedback. There is an appropriate venue, but to call somebody annoying, and yes, I can be annoying, I suppose, but I am wanting to be my most authentic self. So that's my little blurb. And you know, it's one of those things where I'm very transparent. That's the reason why I love this platform, is because it's my platform. It is my way of being able to show you guys plants. It is my way to be able to bring a community of those that really absolutely love plants, and also wants to embrace me for who I am and how I am. So that's just my little blurb over there. Nothing bad. I just love to just, put that out there to call anybody out that wants to be that negative beacon. We are not going to have that on this channel. And I just wanted to make sure that we put it out there for those to know that we always need to exercise kindness. So let me go ahead and get into the actual plant shopping. You can see right over here, we do have a bunch of these orchids right here, Phalaenopsis orchids. Here's the thing about Phalaenopsis orchids, and this is what I catch myself doing every time I go big box store plant shopping at Lowe's, Home Depot, or even Walmart. It's very addicting, very tempting to want to buy Phalaenopsis orchids. I don't know if you're like me, but whenever I see plants that are just absolutely gorgeous, I just want to pick every one of them up, put them in my shopping cart, and go and buy them. That's not always the best venue or the best way to go about plant collecting, at least in my opinion, because then you're going to inundate yourself with a lot of different types of plants. That's when it becomes a problem, or at least that's when it becomes overwhelming, because I know that some of our plant foldies have even shared that they have a little overabundance of plants, and it's made it a little bit more challenging to take care of them. I recently started to get out of my plant burnout. I have been through plant burnout for a little while, and it's because I couldn't balance taking care of lots of plants and being able to balance my normal life, my job, and obviously the YouTube content creation. I ended up neglecting plants. And then whenever you neglect plants, the plants end up declining in health. And then what happens is when the plants start to decline in health, some of them are screaming to go to plant heaven, and then you become discouraged, and then you ask yourself, why did you even buy the plants? What joy is it bringing if it's actually bringing you a little bit more stress? So for me, it is all about trying to have a curated collection, being very intentional about the plants that you're bringing into your space, and knowing that it is okay if you let go of certain plants. And I know that that might be a hot topic for some people. Not all plants are going to do well in your environment. Sometimes some plants just don't acclimate in our personal spaces, even if we do all the things that we need to do for the plant care tips. I always say be mindful of your limitations, as well as be mindful of being showing grace to yourself. And for me, that's what I had to do, and I'm in a better spot when it comes to like those plants. But anyways, in terms of all of the plants here, you can see that Lowe's, whether you go to any Lowe's in the DFW area, specifically North Dallas, which is where I'm based at, it is super full. I mean, look at the scenes here. You can see that there are many plants that you can find. And, as far as Phalaenopsis orchids, you can even find ones that are actually displayed in a kokedama type way. You can see that this one right here, look at that. Beautiful blooms right here. And that's the exciting part about going big box store plant shopping, filming plants for about an hour, and then talking about it and really just telling you my commentary. So I just love to be able to go to this particular Lowe's location. I would say this Lowe's location is the headquarters for a lot of Hydra Helix, or English ivy. We will be seeing that later on in this video, but for now, I did want to just highlight a lot of these Phalaenopsis orchids. So here's a couple of things I would say about Phalaenopsis orchids. Make sure that you put it in a substrate like orchid bark. Do not overwater it. If you're able to give it bright indirect light, they're going to do well. They tend to like to be more on the drier side. Now, as far as all of the plants here, you can see that Costa Farms plants is just everywhere. Everywhere you go, whether it's at a big box store or even local nurseries, you can see that Costa Farms plants are everywhere. You can see that this one right here is called a lucky bamboo, even though it is not a bamboo tree. It's actually a Dracaena type plant. It is a Dracaena sandriana. Now, most Asian cultures will consider this plant as a lucky plant. It's supposed to bring you good fortune. You can see that they have many ways of displaying it, braiding it. And for me, this plant right here, I would be interested in adding it to my collection. The problem is with Dracaena sandriana, they need to be consistently watered in order for them to really live. And knowing my environment, knowing that I continue to just have a drought session for my plants, I've been doing so well actually watering my plants more consistently. I just couldn't add a plant that requires quite a bit of water, and that is another tip of mine for all of the plant foldies. If you want, let's just admire some of the plants through my plant shopping videos. We don't necessarily have to buy the plants. That's what I have to tell myself. If there are plants, even the ones that are on sale, right? Like this right here is 50% off of the prices of these plants, which makes them a great deal. It doesn't necessarily mean just because a plant has a great price that you have to buy it. For me, you would want to just make sure that these plants right here are plants that you can sustainably grow. And I really want to bring that message out to everybody that has gotten into plants. It's very easy for us to really get overzealous, or maybe it's just me. I don't know. Is it just me that wants to just buy every single plant that I run into, specifically Aglaonema? Like, I looked at the lineup of Aglaonema I will be getting at PlantCon 2025 in Houston, Texas through Art Garden Flowers, and it is more than 30 Aglaonema. So I don't know if I'm really following my my plant I guess, tips on not overwhelming yourself, but I just can't get over the fact that aglaonema, at least the one that I'm going to be getting from overseas, it's just hard to get those. But I've also downsized a lot of the plants that were not bringing me a lot of joy. So of the 30 plus aglaonema I'm going to be getting, I have also given away plants. I've also sold plants. I've also found ways to where they're going to be more sustainable, hence putting them in semi-hydroponic substrates. So I suppose I am mitigating that sense of feeling overwhelmed when you have too many plants. You're looking for some plant products that I use for my orchids. Here is the orchid bark mix that I like to use. This is for $7.89. I think this is the Better Grow Special Orchid Mix. I really like that. Or actually $7.38. Really good one to use even for your soil mix. And then over here we've got some sphagnum moss, the orchid moss that I use. I like using that as well. And then let's go ahead and just keep walking around here, and we're going to take a look at some of the other plants. You can see on the very right we've got some succulents and cactus. Now for these plants right here, they are getting quite a bit of light since this is right next to the window. You can see that this one is a grafted cactus. I really like the color of this one plant right here. Now, if you're looking for succulents and cactus, typically if you're going shopping at Lowe's, it is going to be Oasis Plants that actually sources these plants out. Really like the look of this one as well. Now, for those that are into succulents and cactus, let me know in the comment section again what your plant care tips are, because I'm not as versed about it. And then we're going to look at some of these bromeliads. So I have grown to love bromeliads over time. I think especially when I look at these ones right here, you can see this one has some beautiful striping, and then just the color of it. These are by Costa Farms, and these are for $14.98. You can get many varieties of bromeliads. As far as bromeliads, you just want to make sure that you are consistently watering your bromeliads. They do flower, and you are able to propagate even the pups that come around. I love that as well. You can see that there are many bromeliad types. These ones I prefer. I like the ones with the hot pink coloration as well. So we're just going to pick up a couple of ones and then take a look at how much they are. Actually, it's actually $13.98 plant foldies. One thing I appreciate about shopping at big box store Lowe's is that they always have Costa Farms hanging basket plants. I prefer the 6-inch planters like this one. This one is a Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil for only $16.98. And then you can take a look at this. For my Hoya heads, for those that like to collect Hoya plants, this one is a Hoya Crimson Princess. Beautiful plant. I love the variegation, and I have to say, Hoyas are plants that are very forgiving, in a sense that if you do not water these plants for like more than a month, you can still revive them. I call them the phoenix plants. There's certain plants that just come back after you water them, and Hoyas are one of them. Is that the best way to grow Hoyas? Absolutely not. You want to make sure that you're consistently watering your Hoyas as well. But in terms of the plant growth, really easy to care for plants. I have yet to see my Hoya bloom, but hoping that at some point someday I will get my Hoyas to bloom. I am becoming more of a Hoya head as well because of the easy to care for nature of these plants. There are so many varieties of Hoyas, and it just makes me think, you know, I am very passionate about Aglaonemas. I love Aglaonemas. Please use the hashtag popularize Aglaonemas. But I can understand when people are very passionate about a specific plant, whether it's just something about the plant's leaves, something about the growth pattern, maybe an emotional attachment from childhood or memories. So I get it. And so like for those that are into Hoyas, I totally get it as well. I don't know if it's the blooms or if it's just the easy care, but some people always ask me, you know, Richie, why are you so gung-ho about Aglaonemas? And I just tell them it's something to do with the colors. I also like to go root for the underdog. Now this one right here is not an underdog plant. This is an Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue Pothos. A lot of people love this particular plant because it's fast growing, it's got beautiful colors, and it is readily available now at a big box store. This one is only for $16.98. And then we have another hanging basket right here. This one is a kangaroo fern. Really love the look of a kangaroo fern as well. Ferns are not in my plant collection. I think I'm just a little bit fearful of ferns because I know that ferns are going to require a little bit more consistency when it comes to watering. And I think me being aware of my habits when it comes to plant care and really adjusting what plants I put into my plant collection has really, number one, saved me a lot of money because I'm not sending a lot of plants to Plant Heaven. Number two, the stress of actually being overwhelmed reduces because I'm not putting plants that are asking me to water them consistently. And speaking of a very thirsty plant, here is a Syngonium neon robusta, or just neon. Beautiful pink foliage. I think this plant right here will get more pink as you give it more light. This is a Syngonium in a 6-inch hanging basket for only $16.98. And then we have another Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue Pothos. Love that as well. I have one that's doing very well for me. The only thing is it does get leggy if you don't give it enough bright indirect light, and it's pretty much reached the floor of my house. So I'm gonna have to just chop and prop it and get some more cuttings out of it. The thing about Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue, it does need a little bit more bright indirect light, more consistent watering. And if you really want to see the large leaves, its natural habit is to grow up some type of support, so that way the leaves will get large and fenestrate. And then you'll see right over here one of my favorite plants, my favorite pothos. This is an Epipremnum aureum neon pothos, again for only $16.98. I do think that this is a really good plant to invest in because it has a beautiful bright color about it. It is an easy to care for plant. It is a plant that I would recommend not only for just beginners, for anybody who collects plants. And the reason being is whenever you think of a plant that's quote beginner plant, people assume that it's just a plant for beginners. But I say even the people that collect the most rare philodendrons, the rare variegated plants, should still celebrate the beauty of a pothos plant. And speaking of beauty, look at this beautiful bromeliad here. That is really my cup of tea as well. And we're just going to continue to walk around again and take a look at these plants. Here is an 8-inch hanging basket of a lipstick plant. Now these are for $20. $2.98 by Costa Farms. Costa Farms has so many varieties of plants. I hope that they continue to push out even more varieties of plants this year. Springtime is the best time to go plant shopping because a lot of these nurseries, this is their peak season in terms of just getting these plants out. I will say, Lowe's is consistent about just having plants available year round, whether it's indoor tropical plants or even outdoor plants. You can see that one is a Philodendron heteracea, Brazil. That one is for $19.84. That one is a Live Trends design plant. And then we have a Ficus Audrey right over here as well by Urban Jungle. So not only do you find beautiful Costa Farms houseplants, we will also see a bunch of Urban Jungle houseplants as well as Live Trends design houseplants. They all have something a little bit different in terms of the presentation of the plants. Urban Jungle tends to have very cost-effective plant pricing. So if you're going shopping, you'll get some good plant pricing for that, but also just more of a fun boho vibe versus say Live Trends design. This one is a Ficus elastica burgundy, for instance. This one has more of a modern look about the plants. It's actually fits more of my aesthetic. I really like simplistic planters, really like modern shapes, very just simple. Simple is what I would say is the best to describe. And then you can see over here, we've got another Urban Jungle plant. This one is some type of bird's nest anthurium. And anthuriums are the raves. You talk about anthuriums, I feel like the algorithm will just push it, is these anthuriums. So let me know in the comment section, actually, plant foldies, if you grow anthuriums, what your thoughts about anthuriums. Do you wish there were more plants that, anthuriums that are available at big box stores? Just let me know in the comments. Like I said, again, it is all about that engagement. It is all about that interactions with the plant foldy community. And you guys are awesome about commenting and just letting me know what your thoughts are, because clearly I'll spend an hour-long video to the point where maybe it might be annoying for some, but I just love to talk and let you know my thoughts about these plants, like this Pearls and Jade Pothos. Can we just get a like for this Pearls and Jade Pothos? I love Pearls and Jade Pothos. It's an easy to care for pothos as well, but you do need to be a little bit more consistent about the watering. It's not as drought tolerant as, say, a Epipremnum aureum golden pothos right here. So let's just continue to pick up some plants. Let's enjoy the view of these gorgeous plants and just give me your commentary. Foldies, have you ever heard of this new soil called Classy Rabbit, which is from a local small business out in McKinney, Texas? Really excited to share with you this new soil, which is 100% organic. What I love about it is that this is a standalone type soil. You don't have to mix orchid bark or other amendatives that actually make this soil chunky. It is already chunky, light, and fast draining. You can use it to improve your existing soil. What I also like about it is they are made by farmers, so they don't really consult like soil scientists or whatever that means. They really know what Mother Nature has in the soil. And what I like about it is I've been able to pot up a lot of my plants from overseas, and they have really acclimated to this soil. I love the fact that, again, it is 100% organic, and the ingredients that we have would be rabbit manure, composed food waste, pine bark chips, mycorrhizae, dried molasses, pumice, and expanded shale, rice hulls, and yucca extract. So all of those ingredients really make this soil. It is balanced, and what I love about it is Classy Rabbit products are simple where it counts, smart where they matter. So that means all of the ingredients that the soil needs, it's right there. They don't need to add anything else, and they don't offer anything that they don't need. I also love the fact that Classy Rabbit is priced well, where it's a happy medium between the low prices of cheap, and when I say cheap, quality, and the high prices of unnecessary ingredients. It kind of balances it both. And if you see right here, I potted this Aglaonema up in a terracotta planter. You can see how fast draining it is. As I put a bunch of water into the soil, you can see that it is literally just draining through. But just because it's fast draining, it doesn't mean that it doesn't retain moisture. It definitely does. But I love the fact that I don't have to worry about adding any perlite, because this particular soil doesn't have perlite. It has all natural ingredients. So for those that have never heard about Classy Rabbit, please go to classyrabbit.com. I highly endorse this soil. I love it so much. And even though I've been doing semi-hydroponic substrates like Lechuzapon and Leca, I've actually been converting all of my plants back to soil because of this particular soil. They do offer free shipping at classyrabbit.com. Let me know in the comment section if you're interested, and hopefully you will support Classy Rabbit. I mean, have you pooped on your plants lately? I would. Yes, that is another commercial for my favorite soil substrate, Classy Rabbit. Definitely check out classyrabbit.com. You know, when it comes down to me putting in some of these quote commercials, it's because I want to support these people that I know personally, and I want to make sure that they get their screen time, that people are aware. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with promoting people, especially for those that you care for those that you also want to see their dreams come true. So again, plant foldies, definitely check out Classy Rabbit soil. Really love it. It's super fast draining, 100% naturally sourced. Now we're going to take a little bit of time for me to just pick up a lot of these Costa Farms exotic angel plants. You'll see that there are many varieties, and this particular Lowe's location is very good about getting a huge selection of these plants. You can see we are looking at a Croton plant, and so I'm just going to continue to pick up all of these plants here, continue to show you some of these. It looks like we've got another Pearls and Jade Pothos for $16.98. Really good looking specimen as well. Love the variegation, and this is another easy to care for plant. Another one I would recommend if you are going shopping, if you're looking for great deals for houseplants, you definitely need to invest in buying a pothos plant, any variety. This one right here particularly is a Pearls and Jade Pothos. Loving all of these beautiful hanging baskets, whether it is a Costa Farms hanging basket of Philodendron heteraceum, and look at how beautiful this variegation is. It looks like this has gotten a lot of bright indirect light. You know, with the Philodendron heteraceums, even the Brazil, for instance, the more light you give it, the more variegation it's going to push out. It's going to give you some really nice looking colors. $16.98 is the price for this amazing looking plant, and you saw that I picked up a lot of those pothos plants. I am all about going back to the basics, because basics means that you don't have to really guess how to take care of the plant. They are going to be easy to care for. And then over here, we've got another beautiful pink plant for $8.98. This is a pink angel Fittonia. Love the pink venations on these plants. The only thing of Fittonias is that they are very thirsty plants. Therefore, they are not in my plant collection because I know that I cannot keep up with the watering. I'm actually curious, for the plant foldies, how long does it take for you to water your plant collection? Leave that in the comments with the timestamp below. And if you made it this far into the video, plant foldies, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And then right over here, we are going to start talking about Hydra Helix, or what you call the Hedera helix. Hedera helix is the correct way to say it, the English ivy. It is a plant foldy staple. So for those that have discovered my channel and you have not swiped away or clicked off of this video, thank you. I'm really not trying to startle you. It's just that it is a little inside joke. You know, English ivy, it's another mascot for this plant shopping YouTube channel of mine. And here's another Philodendron hederaceum Brazil, and this is a variegated Dracaena sandriana, beautiful plant. I would love to add this to my plant collection, but I had one before. I ended up sending it to Plant Heaven because I didn't realize that Dracaena sandriana, when you compare it to all the other Dracaenas, is a very thirsty plant. So again, this one is gonna not be in my plant collection because of the watering conditions, or what the watering conditions it requires. Here is another Hedera helix. This one is a Pixie Dixie ivy, beautiful plant. It's got some small foliage. You know, care tips, I'm just going to continue to tell people about care tips for English ivy, even though I know growing English ivy indoors is one of the most challenging things to do, alongside with, say, calatheas. Bright indirect light, make sure you're watering that English ivy consistently. They do not want to stay dry for too long. Try to give it higher humidity levels to repel the spider mites, and I would definitely spray it at least once a week with neem oil spray. Over here again is a Pan Am Palea, one of the dark foliage plants. Now this one again is for $8.98. This isn't a 5-inch planter by Costa Farms. One of my favorite Paleas to grow. I would actually want to add one into my collection again. And then we also have a lemon button fern right over here. Another Costa Farms exotic angel plant. I will ask the plant foldies, if you buy quite a bit of Costa Farms exotic angel plants, leave in the comments section which ones you've added to your plant collection, which ones you want to go plant shopping for, because Costa Farms always pushes out lots and lots of healthy looking trays of Costa Farms exotic angel plants. They're priced well, so if you want to start just a simple collection of exotic angel plants, that is what I would do, is go to a Lowe's location to go shopping. I may do a more personalized video about some of the Costa Farms exotic angel plants I would recommend for anybody starting a plant collection. Let me know in the comments section if that's something you would love to see. You will always see in my plant shopping videos, however, is my Aglaonema Silver Bay. I love these. These are for $15.98 in a self-watering planter. Classic plant, one that I would always say, please add it into your plant collection. If you're watching this video, if you're listening to me talk, add that. And then over here is another uncommon Aglaonema. This is an Aglaonema spathonema. This is such a beautiful plant. It's a different, more unique Aglaonema. I would say this is one you will not see often, and I'm surprised that this Lowe's location has kept up with these Aglaonema spathonemas. I would say these have been growing at this Lowe's location since the holidays, and they're still looking super healthy. This one is for $19.98 in a self-watering planter. Costa Farms trending tropical plant. Let me know in the comments section for those that are collecting Aglaonema. Shout out to Eric Planty Buds for just sharing us his Aglaonema collection. Your Aglaonema collection is growing so fast at a rapid pace, and I love it. Let me know in the comment section, though, plant foldies, if you guys actually have Aglaonema spathonema, and we're just going to continue to walk around here and see what other plants we have available. is the fun part about just looking at this particular Lowe's location. You can see that there's just a lot of Costa Farms exotic angel plants. It seems like I'm very partial to Costa Farms. It's not that. I like all of the other plant nurseries that provide plants, such as Live Trends Designs, Urban Jungle Plants, Vigoro Plants, Proven Winner Plants, all of them. But I have to give recognition to Costa Farms, especially when it comes to big box or plant shopping at Lowe's. They have such a huge selection of plants. I mean, take a look at this. We've got another beautiful pink Fittonia here. Really love the pink veining on it. I just wish that I'd be able to grow Fittonias in my home long term, but alas, again, it's the running conversation I have with all of the plant foldies, and it's just that I don't stay on top of the watering conditions. And, I mentioned this often and, with full transparency, because I do believe some people really have to hear it. It is okay to admit that you are not able to care for a plant because of your plant care habits. A lot of us might be super busy. Life gets in the way. And instead of, putting a plant out there where you're not going to be able to nurture and take care of it, I say you could just watch my plant shopping videos or just window plant shop. Just look at the plants when they are in the big box store or local nurseries. I mean, you can see there's just a lot of different types of exotic angel plants. I'm really curious with Costa Farms how they select what plant becomes a Costa Farms exotic angel plant, what becomes a trending tropical plant, because right here we have a wonderful Hydra Helix. This one is for $5.98, and this is one of my favorite English ivies because of just the leaf shape. It's got that nice ruffled texture to it. It's got beautiful variegation. It's a pretty fast grower, but unfortunately, again, it is a spider mite. So I'm just going to be pulling out some more English ivy. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, this particular Lowe's has tons of English ivy. For some reason, they just get English ivy sourced out. So if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you definitely want to go shopping here if you are collecting English ivies. They're really pretty to look at. My English ivy, the Hydra Helix challenge that some of the plant folies are still participating in, my English ivy are actually doing very well outdoors. I have them in 2 planters, 6-inch planters. They're starting to recover. And what's crazy is I actually left these English ivy out when it actually snowed in North Dallas last winter, and for some reason it still survived. So that should tell you it's a very durable plant. Now, this is one of my first times ever seeing this plant right here. This is a special type of ficus plant. It looks like a variegated creeping fig, but this is such a beautiful one as well. You can see that it's got very interesting variegation on the textures. And as far as like small leaf plants like this, I'm not as big of a fan. My plant aesthetic when it comes to houseplants is I really like larger leaves, larger colorful leaves. So the really fine leaves like this that have that texture, it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but needless to say, I still think that this plant is beautiful. It being a ficus, again, you need to make sure that you're providing it with quite a bit of bright indirect light in order for it to really do well. And you'll see that we've got tons of 8-inch hanging basket planters. Here is a Hoya Wyetii. And if you look at how close the borders are, the borders have a nice dark tone around it. That is a sign of the plant being sun stressed, meaning it has received more than the light required for it to really thrive. And so it's gotten some interesting coloration. And then here is another Hydra Helix. There you go. We've got a Florida English ivy right here. I actually saw a beautiful hanging basket, 8-inch hanging basket of an English ivy from, the Florida English ivy when I was out in North Houston visiting my grandmother during her celebration. And actually plant foldies, for those that have not joined the YouTube membership page, if you want to become a super plant foldie, be sure to click the join link in the comment section of this video. I actually uploaded a behind the scenes preparation for my grandmother's 90th celebration. There are going to be so many clips of the celebration, and I'd love for you to see that additional content. I understand that not everybody is going to want to see some additional content outside of plants, but if you are interested in, yes, this is another commercial, be sure to check out the plant foldies or the super plant foldy tier, join my YouTube membership. It's only for $2.99, and it's basically if you had bought a bag of chips, a Starbucks, but you get so much more out of it with me because you'll get to know me a little bit better. Now over here again is another Hydra Helix. Say it with me, plant foldies. 1, 2, 3. Hydra Helix. That one is the Little Herman English Ivy. It's a beautiful one. And let's just continue to pan around. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some more plants. You can see we've got a bunch of English Ivies here, and there's just many different varieties. This one is the Ingrid Liz Ivy. Beautiful plant. And you'll notice the very small nuances of diversity in the leaf shape, the variegation, and even just the growth habit, whether it's a little bit slower growing or more vigorous. I would say outdoors English ivy are going to be very vigorous, almost invasive growers. Do not plant them in your landscape, in your lawn, unless you want it to take over your lawn. That is how invasive they are. But as a container plant, they're pretty cute. They're just very challenging, again, to grow them indoors long term because of the spider mite prone potential. All of these pink plants, we've got this Fittonia, and then you just saw the Snow White waffle plant. What a beautiful plant. And that is really an example of Costa Farms exotic angel line of plants. Again, they range from $5.98 for the 3.5-inch planters, and then $8.98 for the 5-inch planters. And let's give some love to the Epipremnum aureum, or the OG of houseplants, the golden pothos. Some people say pothos. I love to say Epipremnum aureum. This one is such an easy plant for $15.98 in a self-watering planter. I'm actually on my pothos era where I'm literally propagating more than 100 cuttings of my pothos plants. So stay tuned for that when I actually show my propagations. Springtime is a perfect time to take cuttings. That is a great way to actually save some more money on your plants. And take a look at this beautiful Croton Petra for $8.98. Notice the drainage holes has some really nice, healthy looking roots that are just popping out. I would love to collect Crotons, but for some reason, I just can't seem to keep them alive. They always want to go to plant heaven. And you know, Crotons, just like certain plants, they really give me an emotional attachment. And the reason being is my family's home country, the Philippines, Crotons tend to grow into full-blown trees. They're everywhere. Everybody knows about them. They're actually known as the San Francisco plant. So I'm hoping that I might be able to figure out the care tips. I know that in order for me to grow a Croton plant long-term, it's going to have to grow outdoors. I also love the fact that they have coffee plants available at Lowe's. You can see that that was the one I picked up. And then take a look at that red foliage on this one right here. Fittonias. This is the ruby red Fittonia. What a beautiful Fittonia again. And it's one of those things where if I didn't realize that it does require a little bit more consistent watering, that would be another collection of plants. Just the same thing with Aglaonemas. And then you can see over here, plant foldies, we've got some beautiful dark mystery Palias. The metallic shine on the leaves, just the dark foliage. It's absolutely lovely, very elegant. I might take the risk of actually growing like this particular Palia as well as the Pan Am Palia. You know, it's one of those things where, yes, I know that it's going to need a little bit more watering, but with that being said, I mentioned earlier that if you're going to be growing plants, be intentional about it. I want to be intentional about adding a plant that might be a little bit more challenging because of a specific look I'm going for, or maybe the challenge of the plant. Now over here is another Hydra Helix. This one is another beautiful English ivy. I told you, plant foldies, and I'm pretty sure I've probably scared away a couple of people that were watching this video earlier because of the way I'm saying English ivy. But look, there's so many English ivy. This one is the Royal Hustler English ivy. What a cool name. And you can see that it's got more trilobes. The leaves are less serrated, and it's just a beautiful green plant. As I mentioned in my previous video featuring Peta's planters, it is all about really celebrating green plants and also neon plants like this one right here. This one is a limelight Dracaena, beautiful neon colored Dracaena. Again, it's one of those plants that has a beautiful neon color. It will hold on to its neon color even in lower lighter conditions, maybe not as neon yellow, but it's still a beautiful plant, and it is an easy to care for plant. And then over here again, look at this, another Hydra Helix. This one is a Francis ivy, or what you would say Hedera helix Francis, another plant here. And you can see that the nuances of the leaves is very interesting. If anybody that works at Costa Farms ends up watching this video, can somebody please tell me how many varieties of English ivy or Hedera helix you offer from Costa Farms? I'm just super curious. If there's like a list of English ivies, that would be awesome. Batik Croton, beautiful plant, also has been called the bush on fire. Look at that. I mean, I love how the red and then the orange and yellow gradation happens with this particular plant. It's a beautiful plant. Some people are not fans of crotons at all. I am a huge fan of crotons. What I'm not a fan of though, however, is utilizing crotons as a fall seasonal plant. These plants need to be in warmer, higher humidity conditions. And it's just interesting that in the fall months, tons of big box stores will carry crotons. And I get it. It's because it has those fall colors. But in terms of the seasonality, the environment, it's definitely not the best time for crotons to be popping out. So I'm just going to keep picking up some plants over here. $8.98. We've got another Hydra Helix. This one is a gold baby English ivy, and actually, hear me out, plant foldies. This is another English ivy that if I knew better, I would have, if I hadn't known better, I would have actually bought this particular one. Look at the variegation on the leaves. You've got some that are fully variegated, and I love the leaf shape. It reminds me of a trident maple. So, you know, that's the thing about English ivy. They just really remind me of maples. Just as much as I love to collect indoor tropical plants, I also love specifically collecting maple trees. So I've got some content content in the works to show you some of my Japanese maple collection, my bonsai, all of that. So as far as this right here, now we have these 6-inch planters, assorted foliage. This one is $12.98. This is an Alocasia poly. So these ones are not in self-watering planters, but you can see if you don't want your plant to be in a self-watering planter, you can always just buy these right here. This one is for $12.97, another Dieffenbachia. And I did want to give an update on some of the Dieffenbachia I ended up getting from overseas, specifically from Green Spaces ID. It was a Dieffenbachia mint. It finally has transitioned well enough in semi-hydroponic substrate leca. So I'm really happy that the plant has started to really recover. And, that's something I want to show you guys as well. And then you can't not watch a Grow Folds plant foldy shopping video without seeing an Aglaonema red Siam. I love Aglaonema red Siam. Some people will overlook it. Actually, the majority of people going plant shopping will probably just overlook it. But to me, that is a very special plant. Aglaonemas need to be in your plant collection because they are low light tolerant, drought tolerant, fairly easy to take care of. All you have to do is make sure you water the plant. Hear it again. Make sure to only water the plant, the Aglaonema, when it is completely dry, when the soil is completely dry. Now, I know I did a lot of series of converting Aglaonema into semi-hydroponic substrates, specifically leca. I honestly, it's like a learning experience for me, right? I think that Aglaonema can grow in leca, but I feel like their preferred substrate has to be soil. And the reason being, and this is something that I've really had to learn over the last 8 months or so, is Aglaonema tend to root rot, and unless the roots convert to like semi-hydro or almost like water roots, sometimes Aglaonema are more prone to that root rot when they are converting from soil substrate to semi-hydro substrate like leca. So I don't want to say that I feel bad. I almost feel bad that I've felt like maybe I steered some of our plant foldies in the wrong direction. But just like you, I am also learning and sharing my experiences. If you're going to grow Aglaonema, you can still put them in leca. I still put some in leca, but for the more fancier ones that I get, I end up actually just keeping them in soil substrates. And yes, this is a commercial for Classy Rabbit soil. ClassyRabbit.com. Definitely check it out. Love it. Now, I am picking up some more of these urban jungle plants. So these are beautiful terracotta planters. This one is for $14.98. I love that neon pothos. We've got a golden pothos, actually not a golden pothos, Marble Queen pothos by Light Trends Designs. This one is for $16.98. There is a slight price difference. So it just really depends on the planter. If you want a more modern vibe, you can definitely buy a Marble Queen pothos from Live Trends. Or if you want more of a jungle boho vibe, go ahead and invest your money into buying urban jungle plants. I love both equally. I just think that it depends on your preference. And, in terms of your plant collection, here is another message I want all of our plant foldies to remember. No matter what plant you're into, if that plant brings you joy, don't let anybody else take that joy away from you. If that plant is if somebody wants to criticize your plant collection or say that your plants are not that great or not that rare, please make sure you are ignoring that negativity, because there are times, and even within the plant community, that there is a little bit of judgment on what plants we are collecting. For me, something like this jade pothos, for instance, is just as beautiful and can bring just as much joy as, say, maybe a Monstera albo. I think that a lot of the rare plants, the variegated plants, are elevated because people elevate it. People elevate these rare plants because of the price tag. But to me, we should be elevating the plants that are easy to care for. Like, can we also start a couple of campaigns to popularize pothos again, and maybe even popularize coleus plants? We've done such an amazing job as a plant foldy community, really getting everybody excited about Aglaonemas. I can't tell you guys how thankful I am to just really see the progress we've made in terms of having more people do that. And I say this because it's validated to me that more people are into Aglaonemas because of even the live selling events at Peta's Planters, my favorite plant shop in Dallas. People are buying Aglaonemas, and most people don't really consider Aglaonemas one of those sought after plants. Here is a plant that I seek, but I cannot grow in my plant collection. This is a Dracaena white aspen. It's a beautiful plant, but the problem is that white coloration, it just crisps up no matter what. I've even tried to water it with silica solution. It still does not work. So I have just kind of steered away from it. It is one of the more beautiful Dieffenbachias. And then as I spin around here, Costa Farms has a lot of these larger plant sizes. So if you want a Dieffenbachia, if you want a Raven ZZ, if you want a Ficus elastica ruby, these are all available. And so I like to mix up plant sizes. I prefer plants that are within the 5-inch planter range, but I have some very large foliage plants. I'm still working on my houseplant tour. It might be another year before I upload that. I'm just kidding. It is about to happen for our plant foldies, and I'm super excited to show my houseplant collection. Whether it is not perfect, I know that you guys will still appreciate just seeing the plants I have. I have many Aglaonemas. I might just have an Aglaonema grow folds episode. It's going to take a long time to just kind of capture each one, so stay tuned for that. But as you can see right here, this particular Lowe's location, which I have featured on many videos, continues to be one of the more more in-stocked Lowe's locations in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Big box store plant shopping is universal because at the end of the day, most of us have more access to a big box store versus a local plant shop. And I am thankful though that, say, a plant shop like Peta's Planters exists within my range. Now, Peta's Planters, where I am based at, is a good 45-50 minute drive depending on traffic, but I am willing to take that road trip just so I could support that small business. Now over here, $13.98. Here's why I appreciate urban jungle plants. I say this in all my videos, plant foldies, but these the planters are super cute and they have a wide selection of plants. Like, look at this Syngonium. So Syngoniums and we are back in love. Syngoniums are growing. Actually, the other day I ended up putting another Syngonium in lechuza pond. So I'm still using semi-hydroponic substrates. It just really depends on the plant's watering needs. If I know a plant is going to be needing to be watered more consistently, then I will put them in lechuza pond or leca. Beautiful Alocasia silver dragon right here. Now, as I was going through my plant room and when I was like super discouraged, I realized that giving myself a little bit of grace, understanding that yes, through some of my plant negligence, some of my plants really suffered in health. But what I noticed is with Alocasia, if you just let them dry out completely, you can reset it and potentially have that Alocasia grow back. So we're going to see. I had a couple of Alocasias go to plant heaven, but I feel like it's one of those, this is my new term, a phoenix plant. Basically a plant that can just regrow back depending on whether the corm is still viable. So I will give you guys updates about that, but you can see as I just continue to walk around this beautiful Lowe's location, Live Trends design. Look at this beautiful Schefflera plant. That variegation is just stunning. And what I also love about Live Trends, again, is how beautiful the self-watering planter is. I love that pink tone. See, you know, Live Trends design, I'm telling you, they really know what that modern aesthetic looks like, and they always get me when it comes to that. But then you can also see that there are a mixture of different types of plants. Now, here is an anthurium. This is a blooming anthurium by Costa Farms. That's not necessarily an anthurium that everybody is always going after, but needless to say, beautiful plant. I love the blooms. And we have some more Epipremnum aureum right over here. These are the lemon meringue pothos. So this is a Costa Farms exclusive. This was a cultivar or a plant mutation that was discovered by Costa Farms and has become readily available for the general public. These are for $19.98. If you are not growing pothos plants, add yourself a pothos plant. They typically can tolerate lower light conditions, but for this particular cultivar or this particular pothos plant, you want to give it a lot of bright indirect light. The thing about the coloration variegation of pothos plants, they are heavily influenced by the amount of light a particular plant receives. So the more light you give it, the better coloration you're going to get. Now, this is very interesting. Costa Farms exclusive. This is a combination planter of a Dracaena Florida Beauty. I love the white specklings on the leaves. We've got a ruby red Fittonia and a Dracaena marginata. So these are all three of those plants in a combination planter are for $17.98. And then take a look at this massive Hydra Helix. This is another beautiful, wonderful ivy for $16.98. It's only in a 6-inch planter, but look at how it is trailing. It is absolutely stunning. It is calling my name. This is potentially a plant. If I didn't know any better, I would have impulse bought today when I actually filmed this video because it's beautiful. It is actually trailing, but I just know better. If I were to grow this indoors, it's just not going to work out for me. And I don't want to give anybody any discouragement on trying to grow an English ivy. It might just be me. I don't know. Plant foldies, let me know about the English ivy if it's also a challenging plant for you in the comments section. Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic blue, I love that, but I also love that neon pothos right here, neon pothos, $16.98. Nobody can beat a beautiful neon pothos. With this plant though, you've really got to give it quite a bit of bright indirect light for it to really hold on to that beautiful neon color. It is still a fairly fast growing plant, and with that Monstera lemon lime, it's like a neon version of a Monstera deliciosa. I am wanting to put that as a wish list plant. And then over here, Aglaonema red Siam. This one is in a 6-inch self-watering planter for $15.98. Buy yourself an Aglaonema red Siam. If you are a plant foldy, we all need to have at least one Aglaonema. In the comment section, I did want to see if anybody wanted to let me know how many Aglaonemas they have. Aglaonemas are easy to care for plants that you must put in your plant collection because you want to join the cool kids, right? Like everybody else will ask, what's your favorite plant? If you mention Aglaonema, I can guarantee you somebody's going to look very baffled, but it is a plant that at some point is going to become a trending plant in the United States. Just mark my words, with the power of social media and just promoting the plant, it's going to happen. Peperomia obtusifolia variegata, beautiful plant for $15.98 in a self-watering planter by Live Trends Design. And you can see as I just walk around here and finish up this video, what a beautiful Lowe's location. And I encourage everybody to check out their big box stores. If you enjoyed today's video and want more additional content, join my YouTube membership tier. Just click the link in the comment section and become a super plant foldy for more additional content. This is Richie at GrowFold. I hope you enjoyed my shopping video today. Please hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notification bell on so you never miss a new upload. I have some brand new videos this week scheduled and ready to go. I'll see you then.